and I'm listening attentively to the statement as the director will read out. So, Mama, so much to you.
Good morning, our media police and partners. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the offices of CENTAL once again. As Mark indicated, we have a position statement. We will read it out and entertain questions if there are any. Press statement for immediate release. Monrovia, Friday, August 2, 2024. CENTAL laws indictment of former officials. Solicit President Baka's action against those non-compliant with asset declaration. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the media, fellow Liberians, and development partners, thank you for gracing this press conference with your presence. We're forever grateful. Over the last few weeks, CENTAL has followed laudable efforts by the Liberian government towards ensuring accountability and transparency, especially in government. For example, integrity bodies such as the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, General Auditing Commission, GAC, and Public Accounts Committee of the legislature have been in the media for the right reasons. We have seen the public action. We need more robust and transparent public hearings to give opportunities to those implicated, as well as enable the committee and the executive to hold them accountable for their actions. Also, many other reports of the GAC have been subjects of discussions on traditional and social media in terms of discrepancies identified and the need to hold responsible parties accountable. While these efforts are insufficient, they are highly welcoming, especially considering our unpalatable history in the fight against corruption. For Liberia to fully turn the tide against corruption and mismanagement, a more concerted, impartial, and sustained effort will be required. This is one reason why we are calling for adequate support, including moral, financial, and others from the public and national government to integrity institutions to perform their respective tasks in leading Liberia on a path of integrity, transparency, and accountability. LACC's indictment of former officials of government. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we have followed with keen interest the indictment of several former officials on multiple allegations of corruption by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. Former Finance Minister Samuel D. Tuet Jr., former Director General of the Financial Intelligence Agency standing for, and other individuals have been investigated and indicted by the LACC for allegedly siphoning the amounts of 1 billion plus USD and over 500,000, 1 billion plus Liberian dollars, and 500,000 United States dollars. We highly welcome the move to have former officials of government account for their stewardship. Meanwhile, we are appalled by former President George Weah's attempt to sidestep allegations levied against his former officials during his press conference held on Wednesday, July 31, 2024. We would think that former President Weah, who professes to be an ardent supporter of the fight against corruption, will encourage those indicted to present themselves before the law to be exonerated if innocent, as indictments are not convictions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, while we admonish former President Weah to encourage his officials to face the law, we are also admonishing the Joseph Yuma Baka's administration to ensure that its anti-corruption efforts are impartial. From reactions to the indictment on social and traditional media, it has become crystal clear that Liberians are tired of corruption and want a genuine, robust, and an impartial fight against it. One could tell that most Liberians appreciate a fight that does not see any sacred cows protection of regime elements and their collaborators, as well as weaponization of audit and other investigative and due diligence processes. So far, CENTAL does not see any witch hunt in the case under review. However, LACC and other integrity institutions must ensure to lead an impartial charge against corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse in Liberia. We support genuine calls for an impartial, independent, and holistic fight against corruption, irrespective of who is involved. While CENTAL commends LACC on this matter, we urge the body to investigate and prosecute former officials of government sanctioned by the U.S. government for significant public sector corruption. This includes Senator Nathaniel McGay of Maghibie County, Senator Prince Ward Johnson of Nimba County, Senator Emmanuel Nukwe of Maghibie County, former Grand Cape County Senator Councilor Vani Sherman, Senator Albert Chie of Grand Crew County, Jefferson T. Koji, former mayor of Monrovia, Andrew Wamplu, former director of passport at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Councilor Serena Seaforth, former solicitor general of the Republic of Liberia. They too should be given the space to exonerate themselves in a court of competent jurisdiction. While we call on the Commission to engage with the U.S. government to seek evidence against the accused, it is also important that investigations, including audit of their stewardship, be conducted where applicable to serve as an important starting point for insight into their alleged corrupt dealings. Low compliance with asset declaration process. On Thursday, August 1, 2024, the LACC, through its executive chairperson, Councilor Alexandra Kezo, reported a low level of compliance by officials of the Bwaka-led administration with the law on declaration of assets, incomes, and liabilities before taking office. LACC report states that only 322 of a possible 1,281 public officials have declared their assets, incomes, and liabilities. We applaud the officials of government that are in compliance. However, we are concerned about the gross violation of the asset declaration law by majority officials of the Bwaka-led administration. This is disappointing, especially for a president and government that is going after former officials for corruption and defrauding of the state. More so, the president's lack of action against his officials on this matter raises questions in terms of his willpower to deal with his own officials. The process leading to holding people accountable should be holistic and impartial. We conclude with the following recommendations. 1. We applaud the LACC and other integrity institutions for their ongoing effort. They must continue to partner in meaningful ways in the fight against corruption, working with civil society, the media, and other independent players and actors. 2. We call on President Bwaka to suspend his officials who have not yet declared their assets, incomes, and liabilities, some after more than 5 months in government. If the president must be seen as being impartial in dealing with corruption and other accountability issues, he has to punish his officials for violating the laws of Liberia, the code of conduct in the case in question. 3. We call on the president, the president and the legislature to provide adequate support to anti-graft institutions to investigate and prosecute more cases, conduct audits, and perform other critical functions. This is important if impunity for corruption and other accountability issues will become issues of the past. We admonish former President Weah to encourage his officials and those indicted to present themselves before the law to exonerate themselves. As we indicated earlier, allegations are not convictions, or indictments are not convictions. We encourage the judiciary to comply with the law on asset declaration and other accountability frameworks. Report from the LACC regarding limited compliance with the asset declaration law by judicial officials is troubling, as they need to do better in leading by example. We encourage the leadership and members of the legislature to fully comply with the asset declaration law. Reports of very low compliance level of the legislature is concerning and needs urgent attention by the leadership and individual lawmakers. Finally, we encourage to support LACC, GAC, and other entities that are leading anti-corruption and accountability efforts in Liberia. The public must continue to demand for accountability from government, especially concerted, impartial, and sustained efforts to address the culture of impunity for corruption and other violations in Liberia. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the press statement read by the Executive Director of CENTAL. Do we have questions?
Yeah, let me ask you. Thank you. My name is Louis, and I work for the New Dawn newspaper.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, Mr. Weah termed the arrest of a former official as probation. Then he said, if the Joseph Biden government is serious about prosecuting people, they should go way back as auditing the previous GSC reports. What do you make out of Mr.
In the press statement, we indicated that we don't see any witch hunt in this case because there was um, an investigation conducted, and the findings have proven that these individuals allegedly misapplied public resources. So we don't see witch hunt there. On the question around the current government going after officials of the past, including those who served in the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf-led government, we have laws on the book. Even though there is something called the statute of limitation, and legal pundits have said that it's somehow difficult to go way back, several years back, to deal with issues of accountability. But we believe also that if the willpower is there are ways around these things. For example, there are conversations ongoing around dealing with of economic crimes. So that is one way of dealing with such a situation if we were to have the War Economic Crimes Code established. So for us, we support any process that holds people accountable at all levels. So it's important for us to do that, even if that statute of limitation exists. The lawyer could speak more to it in terms of some of the things that could be done, but there are other ways that we can find to ensure that people are held accountable for the actions they committed.
Thank you.
Do we have another?